In an exclusive interview, astronaut Tim Peake tells us he plans to go back to space.
We're working on an all-British mission going to the International Space Station.
And why are so many of us not able to swim? Could pools popping up in school playgrounds be the answer?
This is FYI, the weekly news show where we report on all the top news stories.
Yeah, and you've got a bit of a scoop this week, haven't you, Jiraiya?
Yeah, so I got an exclusive interview with legendary British astronaut Tim Peake at the Science Museum in London. And he told me that he's planning to be part of an all-British astronaut space mission next year.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, and it's big news because firstly, there's never been a UK-only space mission before. And secondly, Tim Peake last flew to space almost 10 years ago. And he's coming out of retirement especially for this.
Wow, that seems really exciting. Let's check out your interview then.
Yeah, let's do it. Loads of us dream about being astronauts when we grow up. But not many people actually get to do it, unless you're Tim Peake. In 2015, he became the first British astronaut to visit the International Space Station on a 6-month mission. And everyone remembers his historic spacewalk when he stepped out of the space station to do some difficult repair work. I got to meet the legend himself. Hi Tim, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi Jiraiya, great to be talking to you.
So it seems like a really important time for space technology and space exploration.
You're right, it is a really exciting time. It's been 50 years since we last went back to the moon, and so we now have the Artemis program to return humans to the surface of the moon, which is what we're working on at the moment.
Our destiny is always to go and see what's further and what's next.
So is there anything big that you're currently working on, the UK or the European Space Agency, that you can maybe tell us a little bit about?
Absolutely, yeah, we've got lots of different projects that we're working on, but specifically for the UK, we're working on an all-British mission going to the International Space Station, which is really exciting. So possibly as early as next year, taking 4 astronauts back there to do lots of science, lots of education outreach.
And would you be a part of that mission?
Well, I very much hope so. We're hoping to announce the whole crew in maybe June this year.
So there are a lot of people who say that because of all the problems that are going on Earth right now, that we should be directing the money used for space to fix all those problems. What would you say to all those people?
The thing is that the money that's being spent in space is exactly for that. It's for helping people back on Earth.
Yeah.
So whether that's satellites that are monitoring the climate, it's like a finger on the pulse of the climate, really. You know, what's planet Earth doing? How is it changing? Or whether it's directly in terms of making life better. So we're looking at new ways of producing clean energy, perhaps from space, or at least developing them in space. Easier ways of manufacturing things like car parts or aircraft that are more fuel efficient so that we burn less carbon dioxide. So everything we do in space is not money really spent in space, it's money spent back here down on planet Earth for the Earth.
So there's a lot of young people who really want to get into space in the future, but is that a hard thing to do?
That's a really good question. Actually, I think it's going to become a lot easier. Spacecraft are becoming more sophisticated, and whereas before you might have had to learn everything about the space station, you might have to know how to spacewalk, how to be a doctor, how to be a dentist, how to be a plumber. Actually now, if we can have a crew on the space station that looks after that, then visiting astronauts can simply go up there and just focus on science, and they can get a lot more done with much shorter training.
Now, for my last question, do you think it will ever be possible for us to live on different planets?
I do. I do think it'll be possible for us to live on other planets. I question whether you'd want to. I mean, planet Earth is the most beautiful planet as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you lived on Mars, you would have to spend all your time in a pressurized habitat, protected from the Martian atmosphere and the Martian storms and the temperatures and the radiation. So yes, we will be able to, I think, at some point in the future, but I still think Earth's going to be the planet that we want to live on.
And sticking with space, check out this amazing footage of a total solar eclipse that wowed crowds in Mexico and North America. These guys are plunged into total darkness for almost 4 minutes.
A solar eclipse is when the moon passes between the sun and the Earth, blocking out the sun's light.
Every week on FYI, we like to investigate possible fake news. See what you think about these next two stories. First up, apparently, a small island in Italy has become so overrun with wild goats, the mayor is offering to give them away to people willing to look after them. But is that true?
Or how about reports that the German government is planning on bringing in a new law that bans sausage dogs? Fake news or fact? Find out later in the show.
Keep watching for the story of an awesome 13-year-old drummer who's performed with the stars. Jiraiya, did you get swimming lessons in primary school?
Yeah, my school had 2 weeks of intense training, and I feel like it really helped me become a confident swimmer.
Yeah, that's really good. And did you know that it's actually part of the national curriculum in England that all primary schools have to teach us how to swim confidently for at least 25 metres? But 1 in every 4 children leaving primary school can't swim 25 metres. And this could rise to 3 in 5 children by September 2025.
Wow, that's really bad. Lots of schools are struggling with the cost of transporting their classes to their local pools, but also lots of pools are closing down, so there might not even be somewhere local to swim.
But we heard about a unique way that some schools are getting us to swim. Check this out.
This is our playground.
I like to play football.
I love playing tag. I love swimming. Yep, you heard right. We go swimming right in this playground. Want to take a look?
Around the country, temporary swimming pools like this one have been popping up in school playgrounds. They only take a few days to put up and they bring swimming to you.
The last time this has been our swimming pool. That's it. Straight arms. There's a swimming pool in our playground because it gives people a chance to learn to swim and learn new skills.
So ear on the water, turn my head, take a breath in, and then blow my bubbles back out.
We get 45 minutes every day for the whole of the half term. It's really interesting because it shows you new skills on how to save your life when you're in danger and sick. Having the lessons have made it easier to swim with my front, back and other. I couldn't really swim under the water properly, but now I've been doing it, I can do it better because I can also hold my breath longer. Before I started, I didn't have very much confidence. I felt nervous and anxious, but now I feel happy and proud to not feel that anymore.
Legs out, arms out. Face the water, and all you do is blow your bubbles.
Yeah, so we teach them multiple skills. So let's start off with your squash main swimming strokes, that's front crawl, back crawl, breaststroke and butterfly. And then also we do a lot of safety skills as well, so teaching them how to survive in water.
Having a pool in our playground is awesome and I'll probably remember it forever.
Well, we've got another couple of stories that caught our eye this week. So first up, did you see that King Charles was opening up one of his houses, Balmoral Castle, for the first time ever? And the public can come see it for £100.
Gosh, that's a bit pricey, isn't it? But I mean, I can see why.
Yeah, well, clearly people do want to see it because it sold out in 24 hours. It was apparently Queen Elizabeth II's favourite home. I mean, we do have a few, don't they?
Yeah. Next up, I read that the World Happiness Report found that teenagers in North America and Western Europe, that's us, are becoming less happy than previous generations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and another report showed that most British teenagers expect their lives to be worse than older generations.
I mean, I can understand why, because we have to worry about pollution, climate change. I mean, I can imagine they were really carefree back then.
Yeah, but on the other hand, things like racism and sexism, even though they're still really bad, they've definitely eased up. Well, what do you guys think? Do we have it easier or worse than our parents? Over to the FYI News Club at Sawston Village College.
I think between our parents and us, there's different pros and cons. I think that right now for us, we've got more technology, which can be really beneficial and helpful when learning.
And we've got better medical care now, and there's a lot more mental health support stuff. But then the cost of living was cheaper when they were our age, and the climate change was in a better condition.
We have that anxiety that always sticks around us. Countries are always fighting against each other for money and land and space.
Nowadays we're more aware
so we are more scared.
But I do agree that it was probably a lot easier. There wasn't all these new environmental crises.
But then again, there's also the fact that we now live in a far more tolerant society. For example, in the 1950s, it would have been very odd or frowned upon to be a member of the LGBTQ+ community.
None of us have had the easiest time because the climate change, the environment, animal suffering.
Some people don't have enough money. We have to be careful about what we spend, and the taxes is like higher now. You have to be careful what you get.
There's less racism and stuff now than there was when they would be younger.
I agree, and I also think there's more awareness about people and things, which can be really good because, you know, when there's more awareness, it can help people feel better.
Next up, this definitely made us go OMG. Russell Cook from West Sussex has just completed a grueling challenge, running the entire length of Africa.
For almost a year, he ran the length of a marathon or more every single day, clocking up almost 10,000 miles. Nice work, Russell.
Here on FYI, we love to hear your stories. And next up, we've got a pretty awesome one from a musician.
She's only 13, but has already had some amazing performances. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Nandi Bishal. I play guitar, bass, saxophone, flute, piano, and I sing. But the instrument I'm most known for is drums. Today, I'm getting ready for my final dates with Young Voices. Follow me. Young Voices is the world's largest school choir group. It has over 150,000 members who sing in arenas all over the UK. And for the past 6 weeks, I've been performing with them. I've been playing the drums since I was 5. And even though I'm 13, my videos have had hundreds of millions of views. And I played at some huge concerts. I played with the Foo Fighters and was even a featured guest at the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. When I was 5 years old, my parents allowed me to get a toy drum kit, and I broke it within a few weeks. When I was 6 years old, I got a proper drum kit, and the journey started from there. When I was 8, I played the O2 with Lenny Kravitz, but it was a sound check. It wasn't in front of an audience, but I went on the stage and I jammed with him. But the first big gig I did with an audience was 20,000 people with the Foo Fighters. I'm proud of everything that I've done so far, but it's a lot of luck and help from my family and help from all the musicians. My friends don't really treat me any differently. I still have fun, meet up with my friends, practice, do homework. I don't know, it's still pretty normal. Because I'm performing to children, I can inspire them to pick up an instrument and they'll think that's pretty cool. She's a kid as well. If she can do that, I can do that. Just follow your heart and do it because you want to. Practice, practice, practice. It's about the dedication, but also your love for it. Number one thing about playing an instrument is just to have fun. Now I've got a show to do.
So what about our fake news or fact stories this week? Well, it's fact that a small island in Italy has become so overrun with wild goats, the mayor is giving them away. The goats now outnumber humans by 6 to 1. And though the goats normally live in the mountain cliffs, there's now so many they're causing havoc in people's gardens and even wandering into homes.
But the reports that the German government plans on bringing in a new law to ban sausage dogs is fake news. Our government spokesperson said no existing dog breeds will be banned with the proposed law, but they do want to prevent new ways of breeding that can cause pain and suffering to dogs. For example, many Dachshunds experience hip and knee problems due to their short legs, and the new law aims to prevent breeders from making their legs any shorter. That's about it from us, but we want to leave you with pictures of Eid al-Fitr celebrations this week.
Eid is an important Islamic festival that marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan. For 29 to 30 days, Muslims from around the world fast during daylight hours, which means they don't eat or drink from dawn until sunset.
Eid al-Fitr means the feast of breaking the fast. and families celebrate with prayer, food and gifts. We hope everyone celebrating had a very happy Eid.
See you next week for more top news.
Bye!